Welcome to Parlay TV.
Plenty of things look easy at first. Skydiving, lion taming, from the comfort of your armchair, all sorts of risks look easy as
Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, and Bruno Fernandes literally
blew Russia off the park in a clinical display of attacking football.
Wow.
Sorry, what did you say, Kobe?
Wow, bro.
Let's break it down.
I am Pat Mayo, and I'm here to give you the best pick at the top of the board, the best bet, if you will.
So I'm going to go with just under 25 for Middleton here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gambling on Hockey on the Parlay Network, Canada's sports betting network. I'm your host, Celine Trimarchi, alongside my co-host, Luca Rosano. Okay, only 4 games went on in the NHL last night. 11 games. Sorry, 11 games went on. I thought it was still the day before. 11 games on last night. Yeah, okay, well, I went for 11 this time. Not the best score, but Luca, how did you do? You did the same as me, right?
Yeah, I think you got mixed up with how many we got right compared to how many games there were. 11 games, we both went 4 for 11. It was a rough outing, but you know what? Sometimes it goes that way in the NHL. You think an underdog's going to cash in, they get blown out. Or actually, last night we saw a lot of underdogs get blown out a bit or lose by 2 or more goals. Like, I was very surprised by the Oilers. I thought they were going to cash in, at least cover that 1.5 point spread. But yeah, they lost by more than 2. One of those days, one of those nights in the NHL, and hopefully we can both bounce back. It is a 4-game night tonight, so I like these nights because if you do sweep these games or at least go 3-1, it increases your winning percentage, which right now I sit at 53%. I know you've fallen back a bit, but you're still ahead of me, so you got that going for you.
2% ahead of you, 2%. Yes, at 55. Just one quick game that I thought was pretty crazy was the Kings and the Preds. The LA Kings beat the Nashville Predators 6-1. Like, okay, did not see that coming. So sorry for anybody who listened to me on that one and decided to bet on the Nashville Predators. But I'm sure a lot of people did because I assumed they would win last night's game. But let's get straight into today. So 4 games. So tonight's the 4 games in the NHL. I like when it's a quiet night sometimes, just like you were saying, because I feel like we can really bounce back after tonight's games. So let's get straight into it. Toronto, New Jersey Devils. Mike Giordano is going to be stepping foot, also Colin Blackwell, stepping foot on the ice tonight as a Toronto Maple Leafs as they welcome the New Jersey Devils. So if you're going to put money down on this game, Toronto is the favorite here. Are you sticking with the Toronto Maple Leafs, or are you going to take the New Jersey Devils? Also, after we discuss this, we just got to touch on the jerseys that they're going to be wearing tonight.
Yeah. I'm just about to say, the jerseys are going to be worn. Biebs is going to be in the house. You got Giordano making his Leafs debut. That crowd's going to be electric. I think that crowd is really going to inject some much needed energy into this team. I'm going with Toronto -1.5. You can't bet against them right now. Matthews is unstoppable at the moment. He has 4 goals and 2 assists versus New Jersey this year. I expect the defense to really contain New Jersey. They are coming in this one on the second night of a back-to-back, so they might be a little empty when it comes to their energy level. I'm going to go with the much better offensive team, and I think that offense is going to make up for a lack of talent between the pipes and that inconsistency the Leafs have had with their goaltending. I don't think that's going to be an issue here. I don't think New Jersey's going to put up the same type of stat line they did last night. What did they score? Like 7 goals? It was absurd. I think they're all empty in terms of scoring goals. Yeah, crazy, right? When I saw them, like, wait, what? They put 7 up? So I don't think they're going to have the same type of success here. Traveling again in TO, that crazy atmosphere, crazy crowd, Toronto. Hopefully this isn't a letdown spot because we've seen it before, right? They are a big favorite against a very winnable opponent, and then they let their guard down, and all of a sudden they're looking up and barely winning that game. But I think tonight will be a convincing win. So give me TO -1.5.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Leafs. Once they get their lead, when it comes to the third period, let's say they're up 4-2, they kind of get laid back. And that's something they should never do. That's something that they need to really tackle on and realize a playoff team should not be doing that. But I'm super excited to see Mike Giordano take the ice as the Toronto Maple Leafs. I want to see how much power he can bring to the D-line for the Leafs. And like you were saying, New Jersey's coming off of a back-to-back. They're heading into this game tonight with the Leafs, who had 3 days off. So I feel like the Leafs have the edge in tonight's game against the Devils. And also, but the last 7 matchups between the Devils and the Leafs, the Leafs have been successful 7 times. So I feel like if I were to put money down on this game, I'm very confident enough that Toronto's going to come out with the win. So I'm going to take them on the spread. But also those jerseys, like you were just mentioning, please, guys, if you like these jerseys, please comment and let us know, because we're kind of iffy when it comes to these jerseys. Like, one side is really nice with the blue and the black, but the other side, the Bieber side, is just like yellow and a smiley face. Like, that doesn't look too intimidating if you're a Leafs player.
Yeah, I agree. I like the blue ones. That just screams your typical Maple Leafs, but I really don't know what they're trying to pull with this yellow one. Not only is it kind of cheesy with the leaf smiling or whatever, but it's yellow. I mean, that looks like a Bruins alternative jersey. You definitely don't want to be rocking a jersey that resembles a team that has owned you in the playoffs the last decade. So yeah, I was not a fan of the yellow ones. I'm okay with the other, like the blue ones, the one that looks more like a Maple Leafs jersey. But yeah, that yellow one, I don't know. I guess we'll see what the reaction is tonight when they actually wear them, right?
We'll see, and we'll see how fast these jerseys get sold out, because if it's the Leafs and it has a Bieber stamp on it, it's done. It's completely done. Let's get into the next game. So it's a back-to-back night for Pittsburgh, as well as they head into Buffalo to take on the Sabres. So the Pittsburgh Penguins are obviously coming off a win last night. Now they're playing Buffalo. Who are you taking in this matchup?
Celine, I'm going to shock you with this pick. I'm going with Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo plus 1.5. I think they're going to keep this game competitive. I think they're going to lose by at least 1 goal. I really like the price that the Sabres have right here as an underdog. The Pens will be playing on the second night of a back-to-back, and they are going to be playing their 3rd game in 4 days. And Anderson has been great between the pipes all season. This is a game I think he can steal. He's been really good, especially at KeyBank Center. So I like him here to try to take down a big favorite. So I'm going with the Sabres. Very unpopular pick, but if you're looking for some good value here, take the Sabres tonight. I think they can keep it close on the puck line. Money line would be a different story. If they win this game outright, that'd be crazy. But in terms of the puck line, I think the Sabres are a good underdog play for this evening.
Yeah, you never know who will surprise you. I mean, I feel like we saw our fair share of surprises last night. So if you want to take the Sabres, go right ahead. But for me, I'm sticking with the favorite, and I'm going to take Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins here. I mean, Pittsburgh's coming off of a 5-1 win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's their 5th win in 6 games. And Sidney Crosby, he's been playing really well. I mean, he notched 3 assists last night. He has 30 points over his past 21 games. And I mean, at this point, I feel like Pittsburgh knows that they're just going to keep wanting to grab points to get more ahead in the playoff standings and secure a solid spot, even though they're already in a pretty solid spot for when the playoffs come around, which is not too long from now. And their last 11 matchups between these two teams, Pittsburgh's leads the series at 9-2. So I'm going to stick with the Pittsburgh Penguins on this one. And their away record, too, is 21-7-4. So it's not a horrible record, but it's a pretty decent record, I would say, for Pittsburgh. Now, Vancouver and Colorado. Vancouver travels to Colorado looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. So who are you taking, Vancouver, or are we going to take Colorado? Colorado is the favorite tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Colorado tonight. I'm going to go with the favorite. The Canucks, they've been in a slump, worst possible time, too. I don't see that changing tonight when they go up against the cream of the crop in the NHL. Yeah, if you look at the Canucks, they've been struggling. They're 28th over their last 10 games in terms of scoring chances. And you add that to the fact that the Avs have been getting stellar play from their goaltending lately. I think this is going to be a very one-sided game, and I would not be surprised if this ends in a blow-up by multiple goals. So give me Colorado, -1.5 against the Canucks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colorado Avalanche as well on this one. I mean, like, I feel like they're going to be concentrating on securing the number one seed in the West and win the President's Trophy for the second straight season. And they're coming off of a winning streak, 4-game winning streak, and they lead the season series between these two teams 2-0. The last two meetings, Colorado won 7-1, and then following that, they won 4-2. So I feel like Colorado's going to come up strong in this game, so I'm taking them, but I'm also taking them on the over because, like you said, I feel like there's going to be a lot of goals that are going to get scored, so I'm taking the over, which is 6. The last game, so the Chicago Blackhawks and the Anaheim Ducks head into their matchup tonight looking to snap losing streaks. So one's going to break. Will it be Chicago or will it be Anaheim, Luca?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to go with Anaheim, though, -1.5, because if you base this game on trends, you got to factor in that, actually, this stat is if you want to bet Chicago. The Ducks are 0-7 in their last 7 games and 0-6 in their last 6 games against the Blackhawks. So this is a typical storyline where do you side with the trend or do you go with the better team in this matchup? I'm going to go with the Ducks. I think they're finally going to break that drought that they are against Chicago. You look at the Ducks, they're 16th in the NHL in expected goals over the last 10 games. And Chicago's offense has not been up to par lately. So although they have dominated the series, I think Anaheim will finally get one in their back pocket here. So I'm going to go with the Ducks at home. But if you do want to bet Chicago, that's a pretty enticing stat. What do you think, Celine? Are you going to go with that stat or are you going to go with the Anaheim pick as well?
You know what? At first, I was gonna go with that stat, and I was so contemplating this game. I'm like, do I pick Chicago? Do I pick Anaheim? Like, I want to pick Chicago because of that, but I don't. But I came to my decision, and I'm actually gonna take the Anaheim Ducks on this one. I mean, yes, the last 6 matchups between these two teams, Chicago has been successful, but the last meeting between these guys, Anaheim, I feel like will want to bounce back after suffering an 8-3 loss against Chicago. So I don't think they're going to want to get embarrassed again like that because that is a horrible win. And Chicago's also without Marc-Andre Fleury. So I feel like that is going to go in favor for Anaheim because he will not be in net, and he's been quite a solid presence for the Chicago Blackhawks all season. So I'm going to stick with the Anaheim Ducks on this one. But I mean, hey, if you want to take the Chicago Blackhawks, it's totally up to you. And I feel like this game could kind of go either way, but I'm sticking with Anaheim. Yeah. So I'm sticking with Anaheim on this one. So that's the games for tonight. It's only 4 games. Quiet night in the NHL. Tomorrow definitely is going to be a lot more games, and we'll be back here tomorrow to discuss our winnings from tonight, and we'll look forward to tomorrow's game. So I'm Celine Trimarchi alongside my co-host Luca Rosano, and you are listening to Gambling on Hockey on the Parlay Network. We'll catch you here tomorrow, everyone.
Welcome back, everybody, to 3-Point Lines here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Noor Zainab, and we are back on this Wednesday to break down a full slate of NBA games. But before we do that, let's just look back to the night that was on a relatively quiet Tuesday night, only 4 games in the NBA. And it was an interesting one. We saw a major upset go down when the Magic beat the Warriors outright. I did have that game right, but then Noor, she took the last 3 games all against the spread. She got it correctly. I mean, there were some good games. Trae Young put on a show at MSG. Like I said, the Magic beat the Warriors. The Nuggets covered the spread. And yeah, how can I forget? The Bulls lost again to a top 3 team in the conference. So what was your major takeaway from last night? As you went 3-4, I went 2-2, and we are, I think, deadlocked now at 54% apiece.
Wow, look at that. We're back at it. Yep, we're facing off, getting into the playoff atmosphere ourselves. We're gonna create the tension ourselves. But I think for me, the biggest takeaway from last night was for sure the Bulls adding 16 to their top 3 conferences losses. And it's just sad. I don't really know what to think of it anymore. I know it's the Bucks. I know it's a team that's like, they're defending champs. They're going to come into this obviously being the better team anyway. But at this point, if you are 0-16 against the top 3 teams, meaning that you're going to meet one of them at some point in the playoffs, how would you even feel confident as a Bulls fan or as a Bulls, someone on the roster? I just don't know how you would go into that thinking I have a solid shot or we're going to start this playoff run super happily. Because right now, that's what everyone's talking about. They're the worst team in the NBA when it comes to beating the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that has to be the biggest takeaway. They proved the haters wrong again, right again, if you will, with them coming up short against a very capable team. And yeah, that's an alarming stat. 0-16 against the top 3 teams in each conference. That's not going to win anybody over, especially Bulls fans who do want to find a reason for optimism going into this playoffs. But right now, a lot of the Bulls fans are feeling this is going to be a very short postseason. This is going to be a one and done postseason. So yeah, the Bulls got to turn it around quick. I mean, they don't have much time left. I don't even know if they play another top team in the conference to close out the season, but they're going to have to figure it out, or else, a lot of people are going to have them going home after that first round. And then the other game I wanted to touch on here, Trae Young, he was spectacular at MSG. And I love how he trolls the Knicks crowd every single time. He's like, yeah, they weren't that loud. Like, I'm becoming a fan of Trae Young. I love that ice cold mentality he has. He doesn't care what the Knicks faithful has to say. Every time he goes to MSG, it's becoming a ritual. He just dominates. He shows up. And yeah, he put on a show. And that was a big win for the Hawks as they now look very good with the season winding down. He talked about that playing picture in the East. All 4 of those teams getting hot at the right time. So it's going to make for an incredible play-in. And right now, I mean, if you're the Raptors, I think you want to get out of the play-in, considering the Nets have been looking good, the Hornets have been playing great, and the Hawks now are showing signs of life. So yeah, very competitive right now in the East. And then one last thing, Magic beating the Warriors, crazy. It just shows you how big of a piece Stephen Curry is, and he really is that team's most valuable player because that team does not look the same without him.
No, not at all. I couldn't even, I don't have words about that game, Luca. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just like, that's the best team in the league versus the worst team in the league, and you can't get the job done even if you don't have Curry in the lineup. Like, come on. You don't need to have even Klay Thompson there. You just got to have Draymond and maybe like 3 fourth-stringer guys, and you take that Orlando team. But the fact that they not only covered, but they won that game against the Warriors, like, you got to feel pretty good as a Magic fan right now, as a Magic employee, as anybody, because, and not just the Magic, but look at all these lower tier teams and the Pacers, the Pistons, the Magic, who are now just coming out of nowhere. Now that they know that there's no expectations left of the season anymore. You're not going to make the playoffs. Nothing's going to happen out of it. So it's like, what are they fighting for? And it seems like it's just out of pettiness. They just want to get these games against be the Robin Hood and grab them against the good teams and give it to the bad teams. But I have no words. But yeah, what Trae Young did at MSG, what he does everywhere. And I think that's another point I want to make too, where it's like all these new generation guys who are going to be the ones that take over the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, the the Kawhis of the world, the Kevins of the world one day with Trae Young, with Luca Doncic, all these guys, they have come into this league almost as if they have no fear. They go into every other arena and they're so happy to be the heel guy. Like they want to be the villain. They want to be the enemy. They stand there and they soak in the haters. They soak in all the boos and all the noises and they come out on top. They win those games. And that to me is so amazing to see because I had DeMar DeRozan on my team and I'm seeing him do the same thing again on the Bulls right now where you don't really come through when it matters. But seeing these guys be ready for the moment and be completely fearless just tells you that we're in for a very fun era of basketball, even after LeBron and all these guys retire.
Yeah, the confidence is great. I mean, you walk into a place like MSG, that crowd's always going to get under your skin. And the way that he's just able to shake it off and just stick it to them, it's great. It really is good TV. But we do have a full slate of games to get to, and we're going to see if some underdogs can cash in again, because it is a very interesting part of the season where teams like the Magic, the Pistons, they have nothing to play for, but they do want to play spoiler, and they do want to ruin a lot of teams' chances at trying to get up in the standings, trying to better position themselves for the playoffs. So this is actually the time of year where underdogs could come in and cash in, making you guys some money. So we're going to start with the first game here. We got the Atlanta Hawks. Speaking of Trae Young and company, they're going to be on the road again, second out of a back-to-back, taking on the Detroit Pistons, a team that has been no stranger when it comes to pulling off upsets. So who do you see taking this one?
Yeah, speaking of the two Devils and the Hawks and the Pistons, and you just mentioned it, Hawks did play last night and they won that game against the Knicks, but this game shouldn't be too out of their comfort zone, even on a back-to-back. Detroit's defense has been inconsistent pretty much all year. And if you pair that with Atlanta's shooting tonight, it's not going to be a fun night in Little Caesars Arena. Trae dropped 45 points last night. And the best thing about that is he can give you another 45 points tonight. He's expected of this. It's kind of crazy how he'll have games like this and no one will talk about it because it's just Trae Young. He's going to give you 40 points and 50 points. And the next day it's crickets because that's what you expect of him at this point. But beyond that, this is just a team that loves to get their shots up. They're a high volume shooting team and they actually make them. And they won me my spread last night and I think they'll do it again tonight. So give me the Hawks. What about you?
Interesting. Yeah, no, I totally thought you were going to go with the Dwayne Casey hype train because I am. I'm riding this Pistons hot wave. And I don't like that Atlanta's coming in on the second out of a back-to-back. You don't know which version you're going to see. And yeah, they did prove me wrong yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I took the Knicks. I thought the Knicks were going to show up and Trae Young obviously proved me wrong. But you look at the Pistons, and they have thrived all season in this underdog spot, and I expect that trend to continue. 17-12-1 against the spread this season, and it is worth saying that the Hawks are only 4-9 against the spread on the second night of a back-to-back. So this is a spot where I think you fade Atlanta. I know they will be a popular play tonight. A lot of the money is coming on them, but Atlanta's offense has been really good, one of the best 5 in the NBA, but the Pistons have a much improved offense themselves. They're actually ranking 16th over the last 10 games, which isn't too shabby. So I might be foolish here to trust Cade Cunningham and the Pistons in a nothing spot, but I just finished saying how these underdogs can make us a ton of money. So I'm going to stay true to that narrative here, and I will take Detroit +5 at home.
I was going to say, you did not learn that lesson last night, taking all those underdogs, eh?
I know.
But you know what? You're not going to hear me fighting with you on this as a Raptor fan who goes up against Dwayne Casey 3 times a year and gets booted. So I give you all the luck in the world. Let's see how that pans out. But we have another game tonight with the Sacramento Kings taking on the Indiana Pacers. And the Pacers are favored by -6.
Yeah, I'm going with the favorite here. I'm going with Indiana. They're at home. The Kings, not a good team. I don't think they're going to be the underdog causing some trouble or stirring the pot here. As a matter of fact, they've lost their last 5 games by an average of 8.2 points. And on the road, that becomes 7.6 points. So both of those margins are still above 6. So Indiana, don't be scared to lay 6 points here. They are the better team. And, this is going to be the first meeting since that trade went down. I just took that in. So this is actually going to be some bonuses homecoming. Okay. So I like Indiana even more. I think they're going to spoil Sabonis's return and look for Halliburton to prove to the Kings that they gave up on him way too quick.
For sure, which sucks. I think apparently Sabonis is out for this one, so he's not going to really have that crazy homecoming, but for sure he should be on the bench, so we'll see some level of reception happening there. But yeah, he's out. Darren Fox is out. So you already know they lose a lot of offense in that. That's pretty much all the Kings offense just right there. And you can't rely on Terrence Davis or Harrison Barnes in 2022 to win you games. That's just not going to happen in this climate. Pacers have won 3 of their last 5. And while they're not a hot team, they can take care of business here. They have offense in Buddy Hield, O'Shea Brissett, Tyrese Halliburton, and he's day-to-day right now, but I think even without him, they can cover the spread against this Kings team. So I'm going to take the Pacers here as favorites and lay the points.
All right, we agree with that one. Next game, we got the Knicks playing yet again, and they're going to be taking on the other playing team, this time the Charlotte Hornets, as the Hornets open up as 7-point favorites at home.
Yeah, this one sucks for the Knicks. They lost last night to the Hawks. We talked about that already. But even with Barrett dropping 30, and Randall is still listed as doubtful for this one, so he might not be suiting up tonight. They will be traveling to Charlotte, so there is a rest factor here since they did play last night. And the Hornets have been on fire. They've won their last 5, including victories over the Mavs and the Hawks. And it looks like Ball really wants a solid shot at the play-in. They have the 8th most efficient offense in the NBA, and that should get them buckets tonight with LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges just lighting it up from pretty much everywhere on the court. I don't think Knicks have the offense to match or the defense to stop them, and 7 points might be a lot for some, but short of the Pelicans, each of the past 4 victories for the Hornets have been by more than 10 points. They actually blew out the Mavericks, OKC, and Pelicans first time around, and they beat the Hawks by 10 points. So I really like what this Hornets team is doing here. I think they have a very bright future with LaMelo Ball, with Bridges, and I think they can win this one by 8 points for sure. So I'm going to lay the points with the Hornets here. How about you?
Yeah, Knicks second night of a back-to-back. The Hornets are forcing 8.7 steals per game. The Knicks turned the ball over a ton. They could be without Randall, like you mentioned. And I think it's just time for the Knicks to cut their losses and just tank the rest of the season. They're not going to get into the play-in. Losing last night basically solidified that. I mean, mathematically, they still have a shot, but they're like, 6 games back? It's in the Knicks' best interest to just lose out these games, get a better draft pick, try to add another good talent to that core they got going on. And who knows if Randall's even going to be here come next season. So, it's been a very disappointing year for the Knicks. Charlotte, this is an opportunity for them to get another easy win. They can't overlook this spot here. They're heating up at the right time. They're beating teams by double digits, like you just said. So, expect the red-hot Hornets to keep it going here. I'm laying the 7 as well.
Yeah, they've been such a fun team to track lately. But another 2 fun teams facing off tonight with the Brooklyn Nets and the Memphis Grizzlies. And this one's actually very surprising to me. The Nets are favored by -1, so pretty much a money line win it spread. And the game's in Memphis. So you are going to see Kyrie and KD sign up for this one. And Ja is already listed as out. So I don't know what Vegas has planned, but I'm going to let you take the floor here, Luca, and let me know what your train of thought is.
So, sorry, you're surprised that Brooklyn's the favorite?
Only by 1 point.
Oh, you expected it to be more. Okay. I thought you were surprised that they are the favorite.
No. I was like, there's no Ja. And there's Kyrie and KD. They should be favorites. So I was like, they should be at least by 7-8 points at the least. Like, give Brooklyn some credit and some respect here. But just by 1 without Ja, with both Kyrie and KD, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
What do you
I'm
think?
surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised now. Like, I didn't know that Morant was going to be out, but yeah, you're right. He is going to be ruled out. So that changes everything. I was going to go with Brooklyn regardless, but I'm very surprised this spread isn't higher. So maybe they do know something, but I'm going with the Nets. How can you not go with the Nets? Kyrie's been playing bananas in the games that he has played. The Nets are 7-1-1 against the spread in their last 9 road games. And Brooklyn, they have quietly covered in 5 of its last 7 games, and they went 6-1 during that stretch. So they're getting hot at the right time. They're a team you definitely don't want to see in the play-in. Raptors fans could attest to that. The Grizzlies, though, they have been consistent all season long, and they have been a really good home team, and they have proven to win games without Ja. But I think this is a steal. I'm going to use that word. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the behind. But Brooklyn by 1 against the Ja Morantless Memphis team, I say you take this and you run with it.
Yeah, you hop on this now. Like, jump on that now. Because when I saw it, I honestly have been refreshing the multiple different web pages just to see, has the line been changed? Has it jumped yet? But nothing has jumped. Nothing changed. Everyone knows Ja's out and that Kyrie's going to be playing in Memphis, but they're favored by just 1 point. So pretty much, like we said, a money line spread. But yeah, I don't know what Vegas is trying to do here. I don't know what's going to happen. Both Dragic and Curry are a game time decision with this one, but even without them, I would easily go with Brooklyn. Even if this was in Brooklyn and you didn't have Dragic, Curry, or Kyrie, I would still go with Brooklyn by 1. And I don't get why they're only favored by a win at spread. Memphis is a hot team for sure, and Dylan Brooks as well as Desmond Bane can hold their own. But against this KD and Kyrie, against this level of play that they're playing at right now, they're almost ready for the finals tomorrow. Each of them can give you 50 points any given night, and the other takes a rest day on the court. I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no idea what's happening with this spread. So maybe Vegas knows something. Maybe it's going to be a surprise little twist at the end. But if you see this now, baby, hop on it now. Like, add that to your parlay now. -1 is crazy. I'm going to go with Brooklyn if that wasn't clear enough already.
I wasn't gonna bet tonight, but after seeing that spread, I might have to make a parlay now.
You gotta do at least just the one. Get like $5
I gotta get in on
back.
that.
Who cares? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Another game we have
Go ahead.
tonight. It's gonna be a good one. With the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat, where the Heat here are favored by 10 points. Luca, is that too many for you?
Yeah, it is. And we've seen Miami be a double-digit favorite. I feel like this is like the third time in the last 2 weeks that we've had them on the show by a double-digit favorite. I got to go with the Warriors. I got to put some respect on the Warriors' name. I know they're coming off a very, very horrible loss against Orlando. They are going to be playing on the second night of a back-to-back. But Miami doesn't blow out teams. And they just lost to a Sixers team that did not have James Harden or Joel Embiid. So even though they're not going to have Steph, there should still be enough there for the Warriors to get this one done. Green's back. I'm not 100% sure if Clay's going to play tonight because it is the second night of a back-to-back. But even, if he doesn't, the Warriors definitely have enough offensive power to meet, to match Miami. Their defense should come up big in this spot. So, yeah, Miami's going to win, but 10 points, way too many for me. I think the Warriors are going to keep it close. So give me Golden State +10.
I know this is a team that cost me a perfect night last night. Frigging Golden State Warriors. They played Orlando last night as favorites, but not only did they not cover the spread, but they also just lost. They flat out lost to the Magic. And Miami also has had a bad loss against Philly, like you mentioned. They were without Embiid and Harden, but Maxey was the one that came through and he got them that win for Philly, but Miami completely fell short. We know that they're both great teams. They are topping their conferences for a reason right now, so they can turn that around whenever they need to. But in terms of tonight and tonight's spread, I gotta go with the Warriors. Heat have Hero and Butler listed as questionable, and without them, you lose a bunch of offense. And even with them, we know, you mentioned it, Heat are not the team that blow out opponents. It just never happens. We have had them on this show, like you mentioned, 3-4 times as double-digit favorites, and they never have once covered that spread ever. So even though they are a really good team, they just don't blow their opponents out. They don't have big blowouts in any night. So I got to go with Warriors here. I think Miami can still win this, but Golden State can at the very least cover this one. So give me the Warriors.
See, I had a feeling why the spread was so big, and I think I might have just got my answer. So it was actually reported 50 minutes ago. Warriors are resting Thompson, Green, and Otto Porter. So does that change your mind? Be a lot of guys out.
I think Wiseman's still out too, right? But you still got Moody.
Wiseman's out. Iguodala's out as well. So yeah, there's a bunch of guys out tonight. So it's gonna be a similar situation though that Miami went up against when they played.
Yeah.
I'm still keeping my pick, but I just want to let people know: no Green, no Thompson, no Otto Porter, no Iguodala, no Wiseman, and no Curry.
This is how the NBA happens. It happens every last minute. As soon as I finish explaining my pick, but no, it doesn't change that for me either. Like you said, they had the same roster going up against like when they were facing Philly, and Philly still won that. And I still think Moody, Kuminga can still make it a game at the very least. So and Poole. Yeah. So I gotta go with Warriors regardless.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good young talent there, which is crazy how deep the Warriors really are. All right, next game we got Utah taking on Boston, and Boston is 4.5-point favorites.
This should be a super fun matchup between two defensive-minded teams. Bogdanović is listed as out for this one, but it looks like Robert Williams, and most importantly, Marcus Smart is back for this. And we all know how much he impacts the Celtics in the way that they play. Jazz will always have my respect as they do employ Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, both of whom can make it a game. But against the Celtics, They're a very hot team right now. How do you bet against the Celtics in this climate? Not only are they killers on defense, but they're dominating on the offensive end, and they're scoring 124 points in each of their last 3 games. This game will be in Boston, where the Celtics are 28-12, and on the other side, Utah has a 19-16 road record. They're just the hot team right now. I think they're gonna make you money. They have been making everybody else money. I gotta go with the Celtics here. What about you?
I agree. You can't go against what's been working, and the Celtics have been making a lot of people money. Not me money, because I have not been betting on them, because I like to think they're gonna not cover every time they play, but that seems to be the case. I mean, this is a crazy team right now to watch. Their defense is the best in the NBA since the All-Star break. They've completely turned their season around. They're on an incredible run right now. They've been covering the spread. They're blowing out really good teams. I mean, that Nuggets game comes to mind. Yeah, Boston is getting it done. Utah's been suspect all season long. I don't like this travel for them, going all the way to Boston. That's not going to be fun. You already mentioned Bogdanovich is going to be out. Boston's out for blood right now, and they know they can still make up ground and they can move on up. There's only a couple games separating them and the number 1 place Heat team, and last time I checked, there's still just over 10 games to make up some ground. So there's still plenty of time to leave your mark. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, take Boston, -4.5. I think they're going to cover.
I think so too. I think this is a Boston team. You just can't put them behind you right now. It sucks to say as a fan of NBA, but when you back up Boston, you make money. So go down that route, and I think we'll see them have a pretty solid playoff run as well. Another game we have tonight, a pretty fun game. It's going to be the Phoenix Suns taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Wolves are favored here by -1.5. Who is your call here, Luca? The game is in Minnesota, so a lot riding.
Yeah, this line actually changed, right? I believe Phoenix was a slight favorite, and then it jumped to Minnesota. And it might actually... Did it change again? I want to look right now. Oh, wow. It actually went back to Phoenix -1.
What?
So I just refreshed. I'm using OddsShark here. I just want to get the up-to-date, odds. And yeah, it's actually -1 Phoenix. And I think that has to do with Karl Anthony Towns listed as questionable. So yeah, Phoenix actually the slight favorite now. And I was actually going to take Phoenix either way. I think Phoenix, they got plenty of momentum on their side. They continue to win games. And this is a team that I do not want to bet against, especially when I see the spread being this small. So this could be a tough spot for Minnesota. Phoenix has proven they can get it done on both ends. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with Phoenix, who are now favored by -1.
That is crazy. Yeah, when I looked earlier, it was Phoenix at -1. Then it jumped to Minnesota at -1.5. When I looked at that, they did have Cat listed as questionable, but I guess they needed time to digest that, and they went back to Phoenix. But regardless, it should be a very good game tonight. You don't know if Cat's going to be playing, but Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell will be making it super interesting regardless. Suns are a solid team, like you said, even without CP3. They're still topping the Western Conference in his absence, led by Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. But this will be a test for Wolves to see how far they've really come. They've won 4 of their last 5, and they're about to head into the playoffs for the first time in forever. And Minnesota also has a winning record against the top 3 teams in each conference. They are 9 of 7, which makes them top 3 in the NBA at beating both conferences' top 3 candidates. This is a money line spread between 2 really good teams, so it makes it hard to decide where you want to go with. But I think I got to be a homer here. This game will be in Minnesota. I'm going to expect them to be motivated, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the best. And I think Suns for sure have the experience and the depth here, but I just think Wolves can be the upsets here. I got to go with the Wolves. I got to go with the underdogs now. Are the underdogs still? I have no idea. They keep
I feel like if I refresh, they're going to be favorites now. No, they're still underdogs. Actually, 70% of the money's coming in on Phoenix. So a lot of people liking Phoenix tonight. Noor's going against that grain.
You don't ever follow the crowd. That's why you stand out. Okay, another game tonight. We've got the Orlando Magic taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Magic here are favored by -1.5. They are the disruptors of the league, Luca. Can they do it again tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to quote Harley. He has a great quote that I like to follow too. When everybody zigs, you zag. So yeah, look at those lines. And if everybody's taking one side, you go with the other. So is this going to be another classic case of that? You look at this spread tonight. The Magic are actually favorites here again, which is crazy. Or not again, but they are getting the respect after beating the Warriors. They're going to be taking on OKC, and this is going to be a matchup of the two depleted teams. The Magic are going to be shorthanded, no Suggs, no Fultz, while Gary Harris and Wendell Carter Jr. are both questionable. But you look at the Thunder, they're going to be just as depleted. Dort, Giddey, Shea's questionable for this one. I'm actually going with the Magic here, Noor. I think they're going to get it done again. I know it's the second of a back-to-back, so that always scares me, especially with a lesser team. But Orlando's been playing really good basketball lately. I like what I've been seeing from guys like Cole Anthony. This is a team that I think is going to finish the season strong. I think they go into OKC, one of the better teams at covering the spread. That is a fact, but they will win this game by more than 1.5. So I'm going with the Magic, the favorite here.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Look at what they did last night. They won you money and they scarred me against the Warriors. So anyone wants to take them, today is the day. And I don't know what they're thinking, but they're just entering all these games wanting to win. I'm not sure if they're playing up to their opponents or the opponents are taking a night off against them. Not sure what's happening, but they when the Brooklyn Nets blew them out by 40 points, I stopped wondering about that. However, this is a matchup against an OKC team that they played on Sunday. They're incredibly injured, as you said, and they have been losing a lot, but they do cover the spread. We know that about them. Shea is questionable, as you mentioned, and I'm afraid his presence will be the it factor because if he plays, he will be the best player on the floor tonight. And we all know how good OKC are at covering the spread, but they're not good at winning. And this is a money line spread, and Magic got to be feeling good about themselves after last night. So just like you, I got to go with the Magic as well. They scarred me last night, and now they've recruited a fan.
Yeah. Wow. We are on the Magic train. We got to go to Orlando and watch the game, especially if this one cashes in too. Next game, we got Houston taking on Dallas. Dallas favorites here by 10.5.
Yeah, so Luca is apparently out for this one, and this just got a little bit more iffy. I do expect the line to drop if it already hasn't, and I think it continue to will moving forward. And Rockets are a trash team. We all know that. They're not a great team. They're the basement dweller of the West for a reason, but Dallas has not been playing up to their level lately either. They've been dropping games to 76ers, Knicks, and the Hornets lately, and they almost let the Wolves take one the other night when they only won by 2 points. It's a big spread against what can be a sneaky Rockets team, and without Luca on the court, Jalen Green has to be the best player there, right? And if he's there, I gotta go with the edge just a little bit. I think there's no reason why the Mavericks cannot win this. They gotta come out and win this. They're your team, Luca. They're gonna win this for you. But I think at this point, the Rockets might be able to at least not lose by 11, at the very least. So I gotta go with the Rockets. They're just a iffy, wishy-washy team, and they just, they pull out wins out of nowhere. So in this spread, without Luca, without my man, I gotta go with the Rockets.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go a complete 360 here. Originally, I did have Dallas, but I did not know that Luca's out. So credit Noor. She does a lot more injury reporting than I do, clearly. She's better prepared for these shows than I am. So, good job. I'm going with Houston. I think, that's still – I can't believe the line hasn't changed. 10.5, it's actually gone down a half a point. It's still Dallas minus 10. I'm going with Houston. I agree with you. I think Dallas is a – double-digit favorite with Luca out. That's not a recipe for success. And I know the Rockets have been giving up a ton of points, but they have been scoring a lot of points. And I think this is a game where, Green's going to go off. And Houston's one of those teams. Just when it looks like they're dead in the water, they're going to get blown out by a significantly better team. They make games interesting. So I'm going to go with Houston plus 10. If Luca was playing, I was definitely going to go with Dallas. That was my original pick, but I'm going with Houston after the news or me finding out about the news. So give me Rockets plus 10 to keep this one interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I would have too, but it was the Luca factor that I was like, Rockets, all these trash bottom tier teams, somehow they just get wind. I'm not sure what's happening, but you got to give the underdog here. But another game we have tonight, one of the better ones again, we have the Lakers taking on the 76ers. And the Sixers are favored by 7 points in this matchup. Thoughts, Luca?
Yeah, I was going back and forth a while on this, but then I just remember, don't second guess it. It is still the Lakers, and Philadelphia will be getting Embiid and Harden back. And I think them not playing last game, they've had now, 3 days off, 3 days of rest. That's going to be huge for them. Philadelphia is a great team still, and this is a team that's going to go into LA and play their best basketball. So we'll see which version of the Lakers shows up tonight. This is actually the game I'm most looking forward to or interested in. Are we going to get the Lakers team that has shown signs of life, getting a couple of key wins against the Raptors and the Cavaliers, two teams that are trying to get that 6th spot in the East? Or are we going to get a Lakers team that looks lifeless? Westbrook's been playing a lot better. He's been hitting his threes. LeBron is LeBron. He's about to be the scoring king at his age, which is absurd. He'll be the oldest player ever, surpassing Michael Jordan for winning the scoring title. So we'll see if he can keep it up. But Philadelphia has the advantage inside with Embiid. I think Harden shows up here. Max has been playing great. Philadelphia's coming off of a nice win against the Heat, where they were without their 2 superstar players. Yeah. So, I think Philadelphia gets it done. I'm not afraid of laying the 7 here on the road because it is the Lakers, and this is a team that usually does not look good following a win.
Yeah, and how the mighty have fallen from grace, eh? Yeah, this is currently 2 of the most confusing teams in the NBA right now, and I don't know who to pick. I don't know what line to go with, but Lakers, even with the king, have looked torturous throughout the season. They don't look like themselves, but then you get nights like the ones like you mentioned in Cleveland, and then against the Raptors where he does LeBron James things and he gets his team the win. But whereas the Sixers, again, they started up really strong after the trade deadline, but since then they've also had their fair share of moments where they haven't lived up to the expectation. But I think still through it all, Tyrese Maxey has been the answer. You mentioned it already. They played against the Heat and they did not have Harden or Embiid in that matchup, but Maxey was the one that got them through against the best team in the Eastern Conference. And then tonight, you're going to have Embiid and you will have Harden in that matchup as well. And most of the time when those 3 are together, they give you good results and they come out on top and they win. So I think the same thing will happen here tonight. I think it'll be more about the Lakers not being the Lakers, as you mentioned, just doing Lakers things, and Philly just having their big 3 come out and topple over the Lakers' big 3. So give me Philadelphia tonight.
All right, and then in the final game of the night, we got the Spurs taking on Portland, and the Spurs a big favorite here, -10 on the road. Are you laying that?
No, I get the respect we're trying to give the Spurs, but I don't know if they'll win this one by 11. Blazers are known to have blowouts. Yes, we know that. But recently, they kept it within 4 of Detroit and 5 of Brooklyn. And we have given a lot of credit to the Spurs this whole year without any guys there, and with Popovich there, as well as Murray and Pirtle. But I think this is way too much credit at this point. They've dropped 3 of their last 5, and the wins weren't triumphant wins either. Each was only by 2 points. I don't know what Vegas is seeing here. I just know Blazers are not good. I know that's what they're probably thinking here right now. They're in tanking mode, but I think that this should be a win even if it's a win for Spurs, Blazers should have no problem covering the spread. It's too big, it's too much, and you can see some people still come through as they have before. So I'm going to go with the Blazers here. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the Spurs being favorites by 10. This is an opportunity, I think, for you to make money as Portland. With Portland as a big underdog here. They're at home. They've actually won 3 of their last 5 home games. And the Blazers, they only have 2 wins in their last 12, but they've been a very respectable 17-18 at home this season. Meanwhile, the Spurs are 14-21 on the road. So if this was in San Antonio, I might have laid it, but San Antonio's going into Portland. Portland, they are a weird team like that where sometimes they get blown out of the water, but at least they play hard in front of their home crowd. You can say that about them. So this is an opportunity for you to cash in on a big underdog. Give me Portland +10 to keep things very, very close.
All right, there you have it. We've had, 11 games tonight. It went from a 4-game night to an 11-game night. Just another typical week in the NBA. No one's questioning it. I guess I won't either. But this has been 3 Point Lines with myself, Noor Zainab, and my co-host, Luca Rosano. We do this every single day. No one else is doing it, as Luca mentioned before, where we go over every single game of the night with its spread and pick our favorite picks. And we come over again the next day to show you our picks and how we have done. Let us know if you agree, if you disagree, and we will see you again here tomorrow. You know where to find us, all of our socials at The Parlay, as well as Parlay TV. And we'll be here again at 3 p.m. Take care.